Hey everyone, and welcome to WittCode, where in this video, we're going to learn what partial content is, including how to send partial content with Node.js. We'll also learn about the HTTP 206 status code and the response and request headers involved in sending partial content. But to begin, let's go over what partial content actually is. So partial content is a chunk of an available resource stored on a server, and sending partial content is often used to avoid the overhead of fetching unused resources, and it is widely used in video streaming. For example, it isn't uncommon for users to watch only part of a video, so why send all the data? Instead, we could send separate chunks over time and stop if the user leaves. And so in this introduction, I briefly touched on the HTTP 206 status code. Well, when working with partial content, the HTTP 206 response code is used to indicate that the request was successful and the response body contains the requested range of data. For example, if we requested the first 200 bytes of a text file and received a 206 from the server's response body would contain those 200 bytes of text. Also, when it comes to partial content, there are certain HTTP headers that are required for partial content to be sent. They are case insensitive and follow the format name, value. For example, a commonly used HTTP header is content type, which indicates the media type of the resource being provided. And now, one required HTTP header for sending partial content is the accept ranges header. The accept ranges header is a response header used by the server to let the client know it supports partial requests for file downloads. The accept ranges header has the syntax accept ranges as the key, and then we pass range unit as the value. And the supplied range unit value defines the range unit that the server supports. Currently, however, bytes is the only range unit format that is formally defined. However, the value none can also be supplied, which indicates that no range unit is supported. Another required header for sending partial content is the range HTTP header, and the range HTTP header indicates the part of the document that the server should return. So here, unit is the unit in which the range is specified, which is usually in bytes. Range is an integer that indicates the beginning of the request range. And range end is an integer that indicates the end of the requested range. For example, let's say we only wanted the first 200 bytes of a document. We would specify range and then bytes equals 0 to 200. The range header also has multiple formats that can be used. And if you're interested in those, I'd recommend checking out my website in the description below. The next required header for sending partial content is the content range header. And the content range header is a response HTTP header that indicates where in a full body message a partial message belongs. The syntax for a content range header is unit, the range start, to the range end, and then all over the size. So here, unit is the unit the range is specified in, which of course is usually bytes. Range start is an integer indicating the start position of the request range, and range end is an integer that indicates the end position of the requested range. Size is the total length of the document. For example, a content range header that specifies bytes and 200 to 500 over 50,000 is saying that the response contains bytes 200 to 500 of a document that is 50,000 bytes in size. There are also variations of the content range header as well, and if you want to check those out, I'd also recommend looking at my website in the link in the description. So now let's put what we've learned into practice. And what we're going to be doing is creating the following program here. And what it does is it consists of a server, a client, and a text file. The client program contains this input field and a button. And the input here takes a range of bytes that are sent to the server when this button is clicked. And the server that we've also created will then receive this range of bytes and return the partial content from this text file. So say we just want bytes 1 through 3 of this text file. We send the partial request. Let me get the server up and running. So we'll just run that by node server.js. Open this again. If we run this, we just get bytes 1 through 3. If we change it to 4, that might be a white space. We change it to 5, we get this. Let's change it to 20 through 40. We change it to 0 to say 90, and we could see this is some data stored in a file that is read chunk by chunk, and this is essentially what we're going to be doing, and it's using everything that we've learned so far in this video. So to start out, let's go back into our code here. And these are the files here. We can see the text file that we're reading from. This is our server program. This is our client program. And of course, all this code will be available on my website, the link in the description if you want to check it out. But so I've already created a folder in here. And first, let's work with creating our client. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm just going to call it client.html and get some boilerplate HTML set up just like this. And now let's just create the UI that accepts the user input and the button and everything like that, and then I'll go over what we're doing. So remember, this small program consists of an input asking for a range of bytes, which we have right here. It has a button to request this range from the server, which is right here, and a paragraph tag to display the server's response, which is this paragraph tag right here. So now let's create a script tag so we can start writing some JavaScript code. And the first thing we're going to do is get some of our HTML elements by their ID. And now let's create the function sendPartialContent that is called when the button is clicked. So when this button here is clicked, we can see this function is called. And what this function will do is send a request to the server asking for the range of bytes that was specified inside this input tag. But so first, we create the request here to be sent to the server. And then here, we set the request method to get and the destination to localhost 1234, which is where our server will be listening when we create it. Then what we do is set the range header on the request with the value from this input tag here. And then finally, we send off the request. So now we've done that, but let's actually handle our server's response. So this onReadyState change property of an XHR takes a function that is called whenever the ready state of the XHR changes. For example, the state changes when this XHR is created, sent, and finished, and some other things as well. But when the XHR is finished, the ready state of it is 4. And also, as we are working with partial content, the server will send back a 206 status code indicating that the response contains the partial data. So when the XHR is finished, and if the status code is 206, then we set the text of our paragraph tag to be the partial data. But so that's all there is to it for making the client. So now let's start making our server. So I'm going to make a file called server.js. And to begin, let's just import a few libraries and declare a few variables. So this HTTP module allows us to build an HTTP server. This FS module allows us to interact with the file system, and the port variable is the port that our server will be listening on. Also, the FS module's statsync method gets information about a file synchronously, such as its size, creation date, and just things like that. And the file that we provide is data.txt, which contains the data that will be sent in chunks to the client. So let's create this data.txt file real quick, and I'm going to place some text inside that. So let's now create an HTTP server using the createServer method of the HTTP module. So in here, we're going to make a variable called server, and we're going to set that equal to http.createServer. So this createServer method takes a callback function that takes 2 arguments, a request and a response. And the request is the request received from the client, and the response is the response the server will send back to the client. And now let's work with the range header that the client sent over and parse out the start and end bytes. So let's work with this range header that we set right here that came from our input. So first, we obtain the range header from the request headers property, and we then remove the bytes part of the string with the string replace method. And then we split the resulting string into an array containing the start and end bytes, because they are separated by this little hyphen. And then we just destructure this array into the start and end bytes respectively. But now let's add some headers to our server response along with the status code to indicate that this response contains partial content. But so, this writeHead method writes the header of the response that our server sends to the client. And the first argument is the HTTP status code. And as we are working with partial content, we send 206. And then we use the content header, or the content type header, which tells the client that the response is in plain text. We also add the access control allow origin header, as our client will be on localhost 5050, while our server will be on localhost 1234. And this is a cross-origin request, so it will be denied by the core's policy unless we specify all origins that are allowed to make the request. And we are adding this wildcard, basically saying that all origins can make, or any origin can make a request to this server. And next, we let the client know that we accept the ranges header in the form of bytes. And then we use the start and end bytes sent over from the client along with the size of the data.txt file to specify which bytes are being returned. And also we subtract -1 from our file size because in the range header, byte 0 is included, whereas in length it would just be 1 through the size. And then finally, we include the content length header to let the client know how many bytes of data were sent over. And as the bytes are inclusive in content range, we need a tag on a +1. But now what we want to do next is let's create a stream to read the specified range of bytes from our text file. So we create this read stream using the FS module's createReadStream method. And this method takes an options object where we can specify the start and end bytes we want to read. And we use the start and end bytes from the client's range header to determine the start and end. And we also need to convert them to numbers, so we convert them to numbers here, as strings are not allowed as properties for start and end. Now we just need to send this stream of data to our client. So this pipe method takes a readable stream and pipes it to a writable stream. And a writable stream is simply just an abstraction for a destination to which data is written. And HTTP responses on the server are writable streams, so we can pipe this readable stream to our response. And also note that pipe automatically ends the writer stream when the reader stream ends, so we don't have to call like response.end or anything. And then finally, let's just make our server listen on a port. And this port is going to be the port number that we provide. And this listen method also takes a callback function. And in this callback function, we simply just log the port that the server is listening on. But so now let's run our program and hope we don't get any errors. So what we're going to do is we're going to change directory backwards and then into partial content. And then we're going to run our server.js file. We can see listening on port 1234. And then I'm going to use a VS Code extension called live server to open up our client. Bring this in here. And now, moment of truth, let's just do 0 through 1 at first. We get, remember it's inclusive, so we get 0 and 1. Sweet, that works. Let's do 0 through 20. That looks good. Let's do 20 through 200. That must be out of range, so let's do 20 through 40. Looks good. So we can see that our program is running successfully. And now one last thing I want to show you is just inspecting this in the browser tab. So let's open up this. Let's go to our network tab here, and let's hit refresh. And then we will, let's split this on one side of the screen as well. And let's do 0 through 20, send this request. And what we get is we can see right here a status code of 206. Let's click into this. Let's increase here. We can see the status code is 206. The method is a GET request. We can see the headers we wrote, such as accept ranges, the control origin. The bytes are 0 through 20, which is what we wrote in here, 0 through 20. We can also see the length of our document here. In our request headers, then also we can see range bytes. So we're working with all those headers that we went over. But so there we have it. Partial content is very useful for reducing the overhead associated with resource delivery. I'm probably in the future going to make a video on doing this with video streaming, but this is more so just to get a general idea of how partial content works. But if this video was useful, let me know in the comments. Besides that, I want to thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a good one.